Hello, I'm Expert Bob. I'm a decent bedfight player who has been able to reach #1 ranked on Mineman. Today, I have decided to share some of my favorite block placement tips. However, it's important to me that you make your own opinions on my methods. Block stops. By far the easiest method to use in game. However, it's one of the methods that are hard to master. If we look at the average player, they usually just place a block and pray that the enemy walks into their block. But if we look at the better players, such as Poach or Dewey, we can see a pattern where they place 2 blocks, and they're way more precise with it. God method is by far the most misunderstood method out there. Most of you guys watching probably think that God method works because you trick the opponent, mess up their aim. This is not the case. As Dewey mentioned in his last tips and tricks video, God method works because server side you're able to see the opponent before they can see you, which lands you the combo. I want to mention that God method is one of those methods that work really well even against good players. Middle exit. Middle exit is one of those more advanced block placements you will see on YouTube. However, it's pretty simple. It goes off of the same principle as the God method. You gain a server side advantage by either going around the block and doing a God method around that one block, or by going through the block and seeing the other player by editing the block faster. Editing. By far one of the most important mechanics in bedfight and other game modes as well. Being fast at this gives you a huge edge over your opponents. However, it's important to remember that ping has an important role to this. The lower the ping you are, the faster you will break blocks, and therefore it's better. Spawn blocking. This is a new method that's commonly used in ranked. It's a great way of putting your opponent in a vulnerable situation while also creating a lot of pressure. By slowing them down, either when they're going for you while you're trying to break their bed, or while they're trying to go up to top bridge. I see regularly that new players just go for the bed right away without even having a chance of getting it. This is one of those things that you can do instead to create pressure throughout the entire game. Using your surroundings is by far the most underrated thing at the moment. It can be as simple as using a pillar on the map as a God method, or something more advanced like using the bed to get foot hits on the opponent. It's important to note that you usually can't break the map, which makes it even better to use for block placements. Breaking beds is by far the most important thing in the game. Bed breaking is usually done in 2 ways, either by building up pressure over time and winning a 1v1 at your enemy's base, but it's also common to skip and have a 1v1 for the win. This is a good idea, usually if you are lacking pressure throughout the game. Your biggest friend when it comes to breaking beds is hitting your opponent's feet. Since you gain pressure by breaking their bed, they must push you and you can easily get free hits and you might be able to kill your opponents. Movement is a newer aspect of the game that hasn't been fully optimized yet. However, players have figured out that it's faster to run up the side of the bridge rather than build a new one when you get spawn blocked. It's also important to make sure your spawn point is clear of blocks, that way you can get up the bridge as fast as possible. I'm really excited to see how movement optimization evolves in the competitive play in the future. This was everything for today. If you found this guide helpful, please let me know, because I might considering making a part 2. I've also made a Discord server fully dedicated to bedfight. It's supposed to help new players improve. We have a bunch of detailed guides and will host tournaments in the near future. If this sounds interesting, check it out in the description.